Okay, let's go Ben White, Reggie Anderson, Mike Mulhern. No question from Ben. We'll come up here to Reggie then. If we can get question up here, Chad. Red shirt, Reggie, and then we'll go Mike Mulhern, Jeff Owens.
Reggie Anderson, WLTX. Jeff, have you always had an affection for Darlington, or is it something that's grown over the years you've been racing?
I've always when I was a kid, we used to come here and sit in the covered grandstand over what used to be Turn 4. And matter of fact, I still call it Turn 4. My team's always on the radio. I'll say I'm tight off of 4, and they'll have to come back and say, "Is that 2 or 4?" So we used to pile in the motorhome and come here and watch races, and so this to me is it's a really special racetrack, and I like the history of our sport, and this is the history traces back to this sport. First opportunity to come here and race. That was when they used to have a rookie orientation meeting, and they used to scare the hell out of you. They'd show you videos of stuff and tell you, essentially you're essentially stupid for even being here, And then they'd say, "Here's the keys to the car, go drive it." And it was pretty fascinating. They don't do it like that anymore, but it used to be they just would intentionally scare you, and I found that quite appealing.
Okay, let's go Mike Mulhern, Jeff Owens, Pete Acabelli.
Mike Mulhern.net. Double file restarts here late in the race. What are you thinking about in terms of like 2 tires, 4 tires, and something like that? Because usually track position means a lot, especially here, but track position doesn't seem to mean anything anywhere anymore.
Well, it depends on the racetrack. It depends on the racetrack and depends on the tire. Honestly, it's really hard. If you go back and think about it, there's several races that people won that didn't have the best cars because they put 2 tires on and got track position. Then there's races here recently where 4 tires have been the best. So you can't just say 2 tires are always going to be the best or 4 tires are always going to be the best. It's really situational. It's double file restart is one of the factors, but the other factor is what is the tire, what's the fall off on the tire, and where are you running, and the one thing you can't control is what everybody else does. So there are a lot of factors, but the double file restart is just one of them. The thing is that's interesting here is double file restart going into turn 1. Where are you going? So I mean it's going to get bottled up for a little bit. And it's going to be hard to make up a lot of track position. But if 4 tires is that much better than 2 tires, then you're 3 wide in the middle of 3 and 4, and you're making something happen.
Let's go Jeff Owens, Pete Acabelli, and Jim Utter.
Jeff, you were involved in a couple of the more memorable races here in the last 10 years. The 97 race when you and Gordon got into it at the end, and then a couple of years later you won the Bazaar race in the Thunderstorm. Can you just talk about those 2 races, what you remember from them, and the significance of those as far as your career goes?
The first race with Gordon, we were leading the race and had a bad pit stop, and got way back and ran him and Jarrett down. I thought we were so far back, there's no way we'd get them, and we got to them, and I got underneath Gordon coming to get the white, and he ran me. He was blocking, which he did what he should have done, and I didn't force the issue because we were so much faster. I thought that I could just get back up on the racetrack and drive back by him coming off turn 2. I didn't factor in that all the debris that had gotten on the tires because he blocked me and I got so low on the racetrack. So that was one of those if I had to do it over again. And then that night there was a Panther game on Sunday night, and I drove home. My wife dropped me off at the football game. I ran up, and as I'm going up the bleachers, there's about 30 people chanting, "You should have wrecked this." I almost slipped up. They were chanting it as I'm running up the stairs, and and then for years, everywhere I'd go, "Hey, you should have wrecked him. You should have wrecked him." So, that was pretty memorable. And the year that we won in the rain, that was, certainly an element of luck, no question about that. We ran well, we led a lot of laps, but we had led a lot of laps here and hadn't won before, and certainly driving into victory lane. I got that picture, at home. I saw it the other day. I was sitting in victory lane with a car that needed a snout or rear clip. It was destroyed. Win that race like that. It was kind of funny that you come here and lead all those laps and can't win, and then you win a race like that, and then won the next race in the rain too. So that's not going to be good. So anyway, it was two pretty memorable races.
Got time for two more. Let's go with Pete and then Jenna.
Sorry, man, I just made a mess.
It's okay.
Jeff, as far as the voting goes for the to get that spot in the All-Star race, how important is social media, things like Twitter, Facebook, that kind of stuff, to kind of get the word out to fans and keep connected?
There she is right there. I've been on. Listen, if the fans, I'm embarrassed we're not in the race. I mean, I'll just be honest about it. I'm embarrassed that we're not in it. And we don't deserve to be in it because the rules say this is what you have to do to be in it, and we haven't done that. But it's embarrassing that we're not in it. And but I'm not going to go politicking to get in. We have 2 races to go win, and if we don't get in, then we have a 3rd race to win to get in it. And, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on whatever they all are. I don't even know what the hell they are. But, politicking to get in it. It doesn't mean that it wouldn't mean a lot to me if the fans voted me in, but I'm not asking for the vote. And they all want me to ask for the vote, but I'm not going to do it. I'm embarrassed we're not in it, and that's really where I am. Not with my there might be some tweeting going on, but it isn't coming from me. How's that? Is that fair, Christine?
Final question. Go ahead.
So I might be the fool. Newton texted me. He says he's not here. Can I ask you this question for him?
Is that legal?
I don't know. What would you think if a driver ran 402 races and his only win was Darlington? Thanks.
I'd really like to know who he's talking about. To me, it's really hard to win here. And, I believe if you can win here, barring no, crazy circumstances, that, if you can win here, I think you can win anywhere. That's my opinion. But I've typically run well here, and drivers typically say that if you can, the racetrack they run on, that's the track where the real men can win on, So I don't know. But I certainly think for a career to be whole, you need to win more than one race.
Jeff, thanks a lot, and good luck this weekend at Darlington.